Yo, what's good everybody, your host, Louisiana Gator here. So, I'm going to go ahead and talk about cables, like these, micro USB. Yes, I have two here, and you'll see why here in a second. But I also want to talk about power adapters and power ratings and everything like that. So, start off with controllers. So, I have two Power8 controllers here. This one is for my PC, this one is for my Nintendo Switch. These are both, I believe, licensed by their respective companies, and this is the Legend of Zelda edition. I believe this is a Breath of the Wild. I could be wrong, but either way, really nice controllers. And obviously, you guys know I love my camouflage. If I have to have a controller in my collection, it's got to be camouflage. I mean, the PS5 controller already says that as it is. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and look at the inside of the port here. Alright, so you see this little notch right here that's sticking up? Well, that actually corresponds with this cable right here. Alright, so that works like that, but you cannot, let me see if we can find the other end to the other cable. Make sure I'm putting this in right. It will not let you use a cable from an Xbox licensed controller. However, and I'm not going to attempt to see if this actually works by plugging it in. Let's see if I can make sure. Yep, there we go. That fits in there just like that. Alright. And, yeah. Now, the thing with these controllers is they are cheap. But they're not meant to be super expensive. They're budget controllers. They do have mappable buttons on the back and whatnot. So that's really nice. And they do include a 3.5mm headphone jack with the additional section for the microphone. And same on this one. And what I like about this one is this one actually has a volume thing. And then you can mute it, unmute it. Wait, hang on. Let me see. Make sure I'm going the right way. Okay, yeah, so up, down, alright, and then mute. And then if you have it plugged up to a Xbox, you can turn your Xbox on using this button. So that's really nice. We go ahead and put these away because I really want to nail this one home because this is really, 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 really important, okay? If you have a racing wheel and you cannot find your power adapter for your racing wheel and you have one that has a barrel jack that'll fit your racing wheel, don't use it. That's a bad idea. Alright? And the reason why I say that is because these power adapters, they can actually be a higher voltage or a lower voltage. And I actually screwed up years ago with a Redhead Searchlight and I accidentally plugged the wrong charger into it, and it ended up frying the charging circuitry and everything, so the light no longer took a charge or anything like that. And that was literally my biggest fucking mistake. And how I realized I made that mistake is because I can smell that burning. Yeah, it burns up the circuitry in it. So it sucks, but what can you really do, right? But this is me telling you to learn from my mistakes so you don't make the same mistake. And that goes with anything, right? Like, you don't want to use a brick that's too powerful for your phone or outputs more voltage than what your phone can actually handle. It's the same thing with LiPo batteries for vaping. If you're using a 4S LiPo, you want to use the adequate charger for it. You don't want to mess that up because when LiPos go, they go, and they can actually end up bursting in flames. We've seen that with the hoverboard situation. I don't know if the hoverboards actually had LiPos in them. They may have had lithium ion, but the point still stands. If you use the right charger for your device. I mean, if you guys remember back then, like, people were using regular USB Type-C chargers on their Nintendo Switches, and it was bricking them. And that's, what, $150, maybe $200 down the drain right then and there. All for one simple little mistake or error that they didn't realize would actually happen. So, I mean, like, what can you really do at that point? Other than, I don't know, maybe contact Nintendo and see if they would RMA it. I don't know if foreign made is the right word, but like, you know, replace it, you know, go under warranty, because that wasn't really specified, at least not to my knowledge. So yeah, but that doesn't just, like, you know, stop at the Nintendo Switch. That goes for everything: your controllers, your phone, rechargeable lights that use a barrel jack. Don't use an overpowered charger. That Now, here's the thing: when I say overpowered, I'm not meaning amperage where you can charge it quickly. What I'm meaning is overpowered as in a higher voltage than what the device was rated to charge at. So say if you're charging at, let me see what let's see if it says it. Oh, hang on, I gotta, there we go. Alright, so it stopped. I accidentally turned that off and turned it back on. But anyways, back to the video. If you're, say, like, your box is rated at, like, you know, 5 volts, right? You don't want to use a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 volt box to charge your phone, because you can end up frying your battery. And that would not be good, especially if you spend a lot of money on your phone. You know, phones nowadays, while you can get cheaper phones, you like cheap Androids and whatnot, and some of the older iPhones, do you really want to risk it? Especially if, you know, you're paying like $1,000, $2,000 for a phone. I don't know why you would, but then again, I paid like $1,300 for my iPhone, so here we are. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you're using the correct charger for your phone, so you don't fry your battery or fry other things within your phone, because they're not designed to take higher voltages. You really don't want to charge them at a super high current either, because you can end up heating up that battery, and, well, other bad things can happen from that. So, yeah, but always make sure you're using the right cables, the right charger. Make sure you're not charging your battery too quickly at too high of an amp, and make sure the voltage matches up to what you're trying to plug it into, so you don't have any issues. Because that's all you need is to, you know, plug your, we'll use the racing wheel, plug that into something that's higher than what that motor can handle, and you end up frying the motor. And yes, that does have a motor in it, because it is force feedback. So, with that being said, I hope this will help you guys in the near future. I hope you learned a little bit of something. If you did, leave a like down below. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell to be alerted when I upload new videos. I'm your host, Louisiana Gator, and I'm signing out. Peace.